Welcome back to the channel, everyone. You're looking fantastic, especially if you're standing next to Arthur Jr. CGI baby. Let's talk about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I'll be honest, everyone, I didn't think I'd be back so soon until of course I noticed how positive the reception to the Flash review was. Thank you for that. And the fact that DC has been on my brain lately. What with recently seeing David Cornsweet as Superman finally—
Wait, how do you pronounce his name? Hang on.
How do you go about pronouncing his name? David Cornsweet. David Cornsweet.
No. Is that really how you pronounce his name? Is this YouTube video right, or am I right? I'm right. Yeah, moving on.
And just me in general being in the mood for something DC related.
No, not you, Seamus. Ah, poo.
I could have watched Matt Reeves' The Batman again for the umpteenth time, but instead wanted to, I guess, close the book on my journey with the DCEU by giving myself a choice of what would I watch next. Would I watch Shazam 2 finally, or watch Aquaman 2, the conclusion to the DCEU? Now, I had heard that both movies weren't the best, but, you know, unlike Aquaman 2, at least the main star didn't go on Instagram Live to complain about his movie bombing.
Shit happens, I don't know.
Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is the sequel to the 2018 hit Aquaman and follows Jason Momoa returning once again as Arthur Curry as he deals with the reins of being king of Atlantis now after beating his brother into submission last movie and stealing his girl while at it. During this time of being king, Black Manta has been scheming to get his revenge against Aquaman after the death of his father and also probably, well, most likely,
You can't leave him like that! You killed innocent people. You asked to see for mercy.
That as well, probably. With this return of Manta, it leaves Arthur needing to stop Manta once more with the help of an unlikely ally, his brother Norm. Wait.
What? 9/11, remember what happened?
Now, I'll be very honest here, even though I was one of the many tickets sold for Aquaman back in 2018, I did not enjoy the movie much. I enjoyed its cheesiness, mainly because at the time,
Bazinga!
we weren't getting much out of the DC films from cheesiness and, you know, lightheartedness, but that didn't save the film for me, with its overblown runtime, Black Manta villain arc, the action that was hit or miss, and a story that throughout was just so damn shoddy, and then the noticeable, barely really any love going there relationship between Arthur and Mira. At least through the movie we got to have a little bit of Willem Dafoe and then of course Orm as the villain, hamming that shit up.
Rise, Atlanta!
Oh god, it's so good.
But with those cons, that was the big reason I didn't really care for the sequel, especially being 5 years after the first. Even if I didn't go see it though, people did, and even though the reaction was mixed between reviewers and audiences more than The Flash, it did much better than the one movie WB was banking on in 2023. Can you guess what that was? It was The Flash. And I tell you what, that makes me want to put my feet up and smile gleefully after I found that out. After my last review of The Flash, I thought it's finally time to maybe just see where and how the DCEU wraps up with Aquaman's sequel, The Lost Kingdom. I think that's enough talking about the history of the DCEU from me, Aquaman, Flash, and etc. I think it's time we finally talk about this movie's plot. Aquaman The Lost Kingdom starts as most movies should when it's been almost 5 years since we've seen the character, a narration from the main character to their pasty-ass baby. We see through the recap that Arthur has been living it up as the King of Atlantis, having fun fighting crime and monsters of the sea, while enjoying the family life he has with his now wife and Queen of Atlantis, Mira. Though, I think she was the Queen of Atlantis when with Orm, but can't remember. Hang on. Let me just do a quick rewatch.
3 hours later.
Alright, can confirm she was betrothed to Orm, but didn't want to go through with it since I guess she couldn't handle the Ocean Master's waves.
Call me Ocean Master.
Anyways, Arthur lives now with his wife Mira and their beautiful non-CGI baby. Jesus Christ. What is with the DCEU lately and CGI babies? If you can't do it properly and always frighten me, just green screen in something else, like a fucking Boss Baby PNG at least.
What a rude little pig you really are!
Arthur has been living it up, but still does not always enjoy the life of a king, mainly from the fact that he has to listen to boring meetings and people rambling a ton through the day, which he hates doing and just wants to fight crime and enjoy his life with his family, specifically the parts where he gets to change his kid's diaper.
Yes.
Aww, Arthur Jr. must have learned that from his mommy. As Arthur lives his life of being king and downing Guinness, David Kane, aka Black Manta, has been looking for artifacts of Atlantis with the help of Randall Park's character from the first movie, Dr. Shin, to find these artifacts, and after exploring the Antarctic for ages, finally the ice breaks beneath Dr. Shin and a co-worker of his, and they fall into an icy cavern where it's discovered the alien from The Thing lives down there. No, I'm kidding, but could you imagine that? Aquaman 2 being a Thing ripoff? That would be dope. Specifically the 80s one, not the 2011 one. Ugh, gross. Okay, not that gross. Jesus Christ, put that away. David Kane and Dr. Shin discover a cave system that's been melted over the years through global warming and head down further into the water to find out where the monster came from, and soon discover Wakanda. Or at least I thought for a second until I remembered Aquaman is DC. Man, how good was Black Panther, man? What a movie. Wait a minute. That was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre sound. What the hell? Hang on, who directed this movie? Oh, James Wan, yeah. Alright, I'll allow it. Immediately after taking the Texas Chainsaw sound effect camera flash sound, Manta and the crew are attacked with Manta left on his own to find a trident that's been split in half on the seabed. Seabed? Split in half on the seabed, and he hears a voice leading him to form it together and be engrossed in the trident's power, where the second villain of the story comes in, Kordax, who promises Manta that he will let him get his revenge on Aquaman if he helps him. So it's kind of like Gore the God Butcher in Thor Love and Thunder, but less mid. I said it. Thor Love and Thunder is mid! After this acceptance of Manta taking on the Green Goblin Trident, we then cut to 5 years later. Wait. 5 months later, and doom and gloom around the world is worse than ever, specifically global warming, which is affecting the sea life of Atlantis and, well, the sea. As we get one of my least favorite tropes in a movie, where an actor isn't back for the film and they just bring them up for one sentence. Kind of like with the last Scream film with Sydney, but they do the absolute worst to my boy Willem.
Have you already forgotten that this plague killed your own beloved mentor?
That's right, folks. Willem Dafoe's character, Volko, died in between movies. And look, maybe, just maybe we can figure out easily why he didn't come back. But still, man, Willem Dafoe, no matter what, is important to Arthur's character. Sure, there are already a shit ton of people in this movie, but Volko was there for Arthur throughout growing up, and the first Aquaman movie. And to be honest, I really like to think that Volko was there more than Arthur's actual dad, but, you know, aside from the Guinness addiction, that didn't come from Volko. That had to come from someone else with a little bit of a drinking Guinness problem. Arthur's dad, his real dad, Boba Fett.
Yes.
As I said earlier, it's been 5 months since we last saw Manta in the X-Men.
What'd you expect?
Black Manta goon outfits.
And Manta and the Goon Squad are heading to Atlantis as they require more of the orichalcum, if I'm saying that correctly, the fuel for their big-ass submarine, which looks oddly like the frogs in Dark Souls 1. The gang goes down to break into Atlanta, but are caught by Atlantean guards, which has the Goons and Manta try to escape them, with Mira and Atlanta in hot pursuit as Mira disables Manta's robot version of a Reaver, and he immediately shoots her with his eye lasers to Kingdom fucking Come.
Holy shit!
Before he can finish Mira off though, Arthur finally appears as Manta calls out Arthur in one of my favorite parts of this movie.
First you steal your brother's throne, then you steal his woman? Aquaman, shame on you.
Before Arthur can beat the ever-living fuck out of Manta for what he just said about him, Manta is able to escape and decides to, instead of going after Manta, get Mira to the medical care and... oh my god. I genuinely want to see how much of this is CGI, because Jesus Christ, it looks like they went above and beyond to go as CG as possible for the scenes in Atlanta. And it's not like I expect them to film in a real underwater city or go full good-looking CG like Way of the Water. But Christ, man, if you watch both this and The Flash back to back, it would probably feel like getting spit roasted with the CG in these movies. So after Mantis and the Goon Squad fucked up Atlantis and quite a few people in Atlantis, Arthur needs help to find Manta from the one man he didn't think he would have to ask. His half-brother Michael Keaton's Batman. Wait, no. It's Orm. My bad. With the help of an octopus named Topo, which I heard is the same octopus from this scene in Aquaman 1. That is so awesome. He's able to get his half-brother Orm out of the prison. During Orm's time in prison, he's slowly been turning into Steve Rogers, pre-Soldier Serum, but instead of needing a super serum, Orm just has to get a shower in pretty much and he's back to full health, looking like if Asmongold stopped being lazy and hit the gym daily. After saving Orm from prison, Orm begrudgingly helps Arthur with finding Manta's latest evil headquarters, as it's sadly not as easy to find, like say, Doofenshmirtz's headquarters from Phineas and Ferb. The brothers are able to head to a barber in between scenes, and go to their version of Jabba's palace, but better because gambling is happening everywhere around them, and I didn't care about the plot at this point. I just wanted to see some fish make some bank. Put my kids' tuition on Red 32, baby. Woo! Ah, shit! This is where we get yet another surprise cameo of a celebrity, because DC seems to like doing this, what with Black Adam and the Fonz. And now Martin Short as the perfect character for him, Aquaman's version of Jabba the Hutt. I don't remember the guy's name, so he's just going to be Aquaman Jabba the Hutt throughout this review. He's not in this movie enough, but as usual, Martin Short makes Slop look good for the time he's on screen, even as a giant CGI fish thing. After sadly destroying most of the gambling ring around this Jabba the Hutt palace and beating up a few hammerhead sharks, Aquaman and Orm are able to finally get the info on where Manta is. And soon after this scene, we see Dr. Shin slowly reconsidering wanting to work with Manta, as he seems to be frightened of the idea of working for a man with schizophrenia. Oh Manta, it's time for your normal pills. The two brothers make it to the island of Spy Kids 2 and try some bonding as brothers do by making the other one eat something disgusting to trick them. But through the journey on the island, they discover the wildlife has grown to roided up sizes, thanks to Manta and the gang's work with the auric calcium. I keep forgetting how to pronounce the word. What is wrong with me? Once they escape these roided up bugs, they finally find Manta's lair, only to have Dr. Shin want to help them, surprisingly.
You expect us to believe you have nothing to do with this? I know. I've done things I'm not proud of.
But before Dr. Shin is able to help them out, they're soon attacked by Manta and his goons, and Aquaman and Orm must fight his goons off before Manta makes his amazing surprise. Not from his introduction, but specifically from his suit. I fucking love Black Manta's outfit in this movie. Suits in the DCEU can look really good. Not all the time, but most of the time. Get that shit off my screen. After Black Manta gets to do his fit check super quickly, Orm goes face to face with Manta, thanks to having his Atlantean strength. I'll be honest, I just wanted to watch that clip again. Patrick Wilson is a treat for these movies. Not too long into this fight, we realize that Arthur and Orm are getting their shit kicked in, and during this fight, Orm decides to take a hit of Baja Blaster system from the Trident, revealing to him sort of a quick summary of the lore of Kordax. After this fight though, Manta once again escapes, and the two brothers are saved by Mira, Atlanta, and King Nereus. Ah shit, and how could I forget? The Brine King's also there. Fucking love that guy. After Arthur and Orm are saved by Mira, Atlanta, and King Nereus, and of course Brine King, Orm decides to give them all a little gift by explaining the lore of Aquaman 2's villain backstory, like he's a From Software YouTuber explaining the lore of one of his favorite series. He explains to them and the audience that the King of Atlantis' brother got power hungry and turned his entire kingdom into green zombies, as the kingdoms of the sea decide to bond together to stop Kordax and his kingdom of green zombies, and are successfully able to put a stop to him many years ago. But Kordax has been waiting his return since then, hopefully someday raining an ocean of hell to the sea and surface, and there's only one way for Kordax to be free of his entombment, and that's through the power of pure blood of the royal Atlantean bloodline. But thankfully though, everyone in the Atlantean royal bloodline is safely together listening to the law by Orm, and there was definitely no one left alone on the surface in the family with an alcoholic lighthouse keeper.
I gotta get the flashlight.
Oh shit. With the destruction of Aquaman's family home and the kidnapping of his son, to make things even worse, his dad is dead also. Oh, wait. Oh. No, he's fine. What, were they all just a block away? He survived? Look, there's no real need for me to get annoyed at this, but it's like nobody really gets consequences or death being part of Arthur's family. Like, it would be dark, but Manta is full-on possessed by a great evil. Leaving him to die there is wild behavior for a guy being possessed by Kordax and also just being an outright villain who fucking hates Aquaman. Like, once we get further into this movie, you will understand how much he really despises this guy. Jesus Christ, Mira, turn it down. The guy just got stabbed and is bleeding out. I'm sorry, do you want him to start lore dumping like Orm did out of nowhere? Thanks to Dr. Shin's sort of growing a heart, he shares where the submarine will go as the kingdoms get together to stop Manta and his goons once and for all, heading to the Lost Kingdom, where King Nereus gets him and his troops set up for battle, except giving Orm a weapon. Just an axe for that guy. Surely that won't bite King Nereus in the ass. So anyways, soon after I just said that, the gang climbs up a bridge together to go stop Manta and the king. Whilst climbing this bridge, they're attacked suddenly, and specifically King Nereus is the one that gets attacked, asking for Orm's help, as Orm... Alright man, I love this fucking guy so much. But alas, just like Dr. Shin, Orm has a change of heart and saves him, as King Nereus gives him a gun, showing trust in him to use it as a proper American should. Whilst the gang has been trying to get to Manta, Manta and Dr. Shin are at the throne of Kordax, as Dr. Shin gives Manta Arthur Jr., who's really hit puberty since we last saw him, as he's grown up into a full-grown bomb. I'm not gonna lie man, if this was how Manta went out, that would have been so funny.
Shit.
Sadly, it's not that crazy of a movie though, they won't be doing that shit. Dr. Shin tries to run off with Arthur Jr., but is unsuccessful immediately as Black Manta fucking tasers Dr. Shin to the ground and taking Arthur Jr. away from Dr. Shin. But unlike the comic books where Black Manta does kill Aquaman's son, Aquaman makes it in time to fight Manta, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a cool ass final battle, especially compared to the mess of the Flash where, you know what, come to think of it, we never saw Barry go up against Zod, except for I guess the part where we watch Barry 2 fail over and over trying to save Batman and Supergirl, but before you say that, no, that doesn't count. As the two of them fight, Mira and Orm come in to save Arthur Jr., and Manta goes to throw the trident at Mira and the baby, but Orm saves them both, telling them to run as he is taken over by Kordax's trident, with Manta losing his powers and being knocked out easy by Aquaman. As the two brothers fight once again, with Aquaman thinking back to all the great times he had with his brother and doing his best to bring his brother back through these great times, because I'm sure through the bare minimum time the two have spent together, this is all that it will take to bring Orm back. Fuck you. You're telling me it was that easy for Aquaman to save Orm? His ass does not love his brother that much or enough at all to be good again and not kill him. Aquaman took his birthright of king away from him and took the guy's girl to then have a kid with her. If anything, Manta already said this best earlier.
First you steal your brother's throne, then you steal his woman? Aquaman. Shame on you.
Exactly! What a load of shit. Soon after this fantastic brotherly bond, Kordax is still released from his imprisonment thanks to the battle that Arthur and Orm were having, as Aquaman tries to stop Kordax by throwing his trident right at him, but Kordax is able to catch it really quickly with great reflexes, and this will lead to yet another battle with the real bad guy of the movie.
Arthur!
Oh, that's it then? Okay. Because of this huge battle with Kordax, the kingdom collapses, leading to Aquaman and friends to run out of there, with Manta being offered help from Aquaman after he falls into a hole, but Manta declines the offer as he really fucking hates Aquaman and refuses help, and he decides to fall, possibly to his death, or Undertale. Everyone else escapes, and even though Orm helped to save the day, he sadly can't come back to Atlantis, but Arthur says to just fake his death and thinks that's a cool idea and just bounces. With the day saved and the world saved as well thanks to Aquaman, I'm sure the world will not do any more bad stuff to the ocean. Wrong! So Aquaman pretty much tells that council of fish people to suck a fish stick. Aquaman finally decides to go to the UN to announce that Atlantis is real and they're here to help and stop the Earth from getting worse, ending on the best way to end the movie Aquaman, of Aquaman having his I am Iron Man moment.
I'm the king of Atlantis. I am Aquaman. I am Aquaman.
And that's the end of the movie. Oh wait, we do get the last ever DCEU after credits scene. Let's look quickly at how it ends. Yeah, I guess that's a good one. You can't really tease the future anyways, can you? Oh well. Yeah, that's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, aka the final DCEU film. Aquaman the Lost Kingdom is a messy, cheesy, and bland attempt at a sequel to an, if being nice, decent first movie. Is it better than The Flash?
What do you mean,
Depends on you, I guess. If it wanted to be better easily than The Flash, then it could have gone with more man in it. But if I were to say my highlights for this movie, I think the scenes of Orm and Arthur together I feel are just great. I feel Orm's cheesiness sadly wasn't as big as one, which sucks. I could have gone with another Ocean Master line, or at least him putting that outfit back on again, but at least we got that goofy ass smile. Other than that, I'd say some CGI in action was good, just not always the CGI in action. For these movies, it seems to get worse, and it's really a lesson on give these VFX artists and people that work on the CGI just more time on your movies, please. I don't want Superman next year to look CGI baby bad or anything, just please make sure that movie and future DC films look good. And then like I said, action is a mixed bag. I think some of it is fun, specifically the last battle with Aquaman and Manta, but other times it kind of reminded me of Shark Boy and Lava Girl for some reason. Now, of course, the final question you're probably asking is this the best way to have wrapped up the DCEU? Well, no, of course not. This is an Avengers Endgame, but it's how things wrapped up with the DCEU. It had to end anyways for what is hopefully next a brighter future, but we'll just have to wait and see for the time being. Until then though, should you watch it? It's up to you. At this point, it wraps up Aquaman's story. I would like to see actually the recuts of it all, like how the fuck was Batman involved in this? Like, was he in scuba gear? That'd be pretty cool to see. Sort of like Batman in a Scuba Steve outfit or something. And if there was just more to the movie in general, because even though I say the first movie and this movie are bloated in my opinion, it felt like with The Lost Kingdom it had time cut out of it, which happens during these big movies, especially before the plans of rebooting when Black Adam was going to be heavily involved. And we all know how that worked out.
We should talk.
So anyways, that was Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Did you watch it yourself? What did you think of it? And though this wasn't a great movie, my torment of watching these movies is still, to be honest, pretty entertaining to talk about in the end. And if there's a movie you think I should check out next, let me know. But until then, don't you dare say Shazam 2. It's not happening. Anyways, until then though, see you soon everyone. And as always, thanks for watching. It's appreciated.